Have you ever heard of places where the moment you step in, you feel like someone is watching you? Or places where people say that spirits still linger, echoing within the old walls? In this video, we will explore 8 of the most mysterious and haunted tourist spots in the United States. From invisible footsteps in an ancient theater to unexplained shadows appearing in a small town famous for its witch trials, all these places hold eerie secrets and intriguing mysteries. If you are brave enough, follow along until the end of the video to uncover the names of these places and the terrifying stories behind them. Do not forget to hit the subscribe button now and get ready to face chilling tales not meant for the faint of heart. Ranking at number 8 on the list is Long Beach. Long Beach, California, is home to the permanently docked RMS Queen Mary. Throughout its operational history, the RMS Queen Mary witnessed at least 49 deaths, and many believe that the spirits of the deceased still linger around the ship. One of the most famous stories is about room B340. This room was sealed for years after numerous unexplained events took place there. The ship's luxurious swimming pool, though abandoned for years, is still a site where people claim to hear giggling and the splashing of water from a pool long drained. Some have even reported seeing women dressed in vintage swimwear briefly appear and then vanish instantly. These eerie apparitions only add to the already haunting atmosphere of the dimly lit space. Engine Room 13 on the RMS Queen Mary was the site of an accident where sailor John Petter lost his life. Many people say they have seen his shadow flickering among the machinery or heard the echo of metal clanging, as if Petter continues working, unaware of his demise. Number 7. Dock Street Theater. Nestled in the quaint historic district of Charleston, Dock Street Theater is a place where souls seem never to have found peace. The most famous tale at Dock Street Theater is of Nettie Dickerson, a young woman tragically struck by lightning outside the theater in the 19th century. Since that fateful day, Nettie's figure is said to appear in the dark corners of the theater, especially on stage. In an old-fashioned dress, she stands silently, her empty eyes gazing into the stillness. Many have claimed to feel her presence, a sudden cold breeze sweeping by or the sensation of someone standing right behind them. Lonely footsteps echo in the deserted halls, whispers come from nowhere, and creaky old doors open and shut without explanation. Many staff and visitors to the theater report feeling watched by an unseen presence. And sometimes, the unsettling quiet only heightens the strangeness of the place. What happens at Dock Street Theater doesn't need exaggeration. Just one visit and you'll feel the presence of the unexplained for yourself. But if you think this is the scariest place, wait for the darker, more mysterious stories that lie ahead. Number 6. Salem. Salem, Massachusetts is not just a small town on the U.S. map, but an immortal symbol of mystery and hauntings, sending shivers down the spine of anyone who visits, thanks to its bloody and enigmatic past. In the 17th century, Salem witnessed a horrifying event that history will forever remember: the Salem witch trials of 1692. Dozens of residents, mostly women, were accused of witchcraft based on baseless accusations and community fear. Through brutal torture methods, innocent people were executed, giving Salem a dark and tragic history. This event breathed life into the city, transforming Salem into a place that no one can leave out when talking about the supernatural. Salem is known not only for witches, but also as a place where the boundary between reality and the supernatural blurs. Many believe that on dark nights, especially in October, the line between the living world and the dead becomes thinner than ever. Visitors to the town have reported witnessing strange phenomena, such as flickering lights from locked windows or sudden cold chills with no apparent cause. Recording devices and cameras sometimes capture strange, inexplicable sounds and images. Each year during Halloween, Salem becomes the center of eerie festivities, drawing thousands of visitors from around the world to experience the mysterious atmosphere that no other place can offer. Number 5. Bell Witch Cave. Bell Witch Cave in Adams, Tennessee is tied to the legend of the Bell Witch, making this cave not just a place of mystery, but the heart of supernatural tales and strange phenomena that have persisted for centuries. The story began in 1817 when the Bell family started experiencing unexplainable events at their farm. From knocking sounds in the middle of the night to furniture moving on its own, and even physical attacks by an invisible force. The focus of the story is John Bell, the head of the family, who was frequently attacked by a mysterious entity until his death. Many believe that the Bell Witch, thought to be the spirit of Kate Batts, a woman who had a feud with the Bell family, was responsible for these events. Bell Witch Cave, located near the Bell family farm, is said to be where the spirit of the Bell Witch retreated after haunting the family. The dark, damp cave exudes a suffocating feeling, as if time has abandoned the place, cloaked in a cold and ominous atmosphere. Though there's no conclusive evidence to confirm the stories, the cave's eerie aura, coupled with the frightening legends, creates an indescribable atmosphere, making anyone who visits feel the lurking danger. What this cave has witnessed over the centuries cannot simply be written off as made-up tales. Number 4. Helltown. Helltown, known as Boston Township, Ohio, is a place where desolation and dark legends have turned a peaceful town into a destination of fear. In the 1970s, the U.S. government reclaimed land in the area to develop a national park. However, instead of becoming a tourist attraction, the town was strangely abandoned. Empty houses with shattered windows and overgrown roads give the town an eerie, frozen-in-time quality. Anyone who visits feels the heaviness of the place, as if everything was left unfinished, with traces of time long forgotten. One of the scariest places in Helltown is Cemetery Hill, where many have reported seeing ghosts and feeling the presence of restless spirits. Cars mysteriously stop working near the hill, leading many to believe in a supernatural force at play. Additionally, roads blocked by warning signs reading "End of the World" seem to lead to nowhere, further deepening the mystery of the area. Those brave enough to explore often speak of feeling watched, despite being seemingly alone in the desolate area. Number 3. Myrtle's Plantation. Myrtle's Plantation in St. Francis, Ville, Louisiana, was built in the late 18th century and is known as the most haunted house in America, with countless unexplained phenomena and restless spirits. One of the scariest stories from Myrtle's Plantation is about Chloe, a slave who worked on the plantation. According to legend, Chloe was caught eavesdropping on her master's conversation and, in revenge, poisoned a birthday cake, causing 2 children in the family to die. After being discovered, Chloe was hanged by other slaves, and her body was thrown into a river. Since then, Chloe's spirit has never found peace. Her figure, wrapped in a green headscarf, is often seen wandering around the plantation. Chloe is not the only spirit. Myrtle's Plantation is also said to be home to the souls of lost children. Their faint laughter sometimes echoes in the empty hallways, and many have reported seeing mysterious handprints appear on mirrors. Some have even felt the invisible presence of ghosts, with cold chills and a creepy sensation, as though someone is standing right behind them. Number 2. Eastern State Penitentiary. Hidden behind the cold, crumbling stone walls of Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia are ghost stories and hauntings that have lasted for nearly 2 centuries. Built in 1829, this prison was one of the first to implement total solitary confinement. Prisoners were completely isolated, with no communication except with themselves, locked away in small stone cells. This isolation is believed to have driven many to madness, leaving psychological scars that seem to linger in the space. The long, dark corridors once held dangerous criminals like Al Capone, but now they are eerily silent. Yet this silence is not always peaceful. Many have reported hearing footsteps, slamming doors, and whispers with no apparent source. Particularly, Cell Block 12 is infamous for its disturbing sounds, moans and faint screams echoing from empty cells, giving the impression that souls remain trapped here. Additionally, Cell Block 15, where executions took place, fills many visitors with a sense of anxiety and fear. Some have even felt the undeniable presence of angry spirits, former prisoners who never found peace after death. These souls seem stuck in their pain and despair, never leaving the prison behind. Number 1. Waverly Hills Sanatorium. Perched on a desolate hill in Louisville, Kentucky, Waverly Hills Sanatorium was built in the early 20th century to treat tuberculosis patients. The hospital witnessed thousands of deaths during the time when tuberculosis was an uncontrollable epidemic. The pain, despair, and death seemed to have left a permanent mark on the crumbling building. Waverly Hills was not just a place for treating tuberculosis, it also became a psychological prison for patients with no hope of recovery. In its darkest period, the facility became infamous for its body chute, an underground tunnel used to secretly transport corpses away. Gurneys quietly carried bodies down the dark slope of the tunnel, hidden from the eyes of those still living. This death tunnel now draws curious visitors, with stories of spirits trapped beneath the earth still being passed around. One particularly haunting story involves a nurse who committed suicide in room 502 after becoming pregnant out of wedlock and despairing over the harsh life at the hospital. Since then, many have reported seeing strange phenomena in this room, from the ghostly figure of the nurse hanging in midair to the unnerving feeling of being watched when entering the cold, eerie room.
Bro, dude, there's something in there.
Whether or not you believe in ghost stories, these places prove one thing. There are dark secrets that time cannot erase, and those shadows are still waiting to be discovered. Remember, fear doesn't always come from what we can see, but from the invisible things our minds cannot fully comprehend. If you are brave enough to continue this journey, subscribe to the channel now and join us as we uncover even scarier mysteries in the next episodes. The most terrifying stories are far from over. Goodbye, and see you next time.